Okay, hello everyone. So, my name is Richard Miles. I'm a world-renowned psychic medium, and I'm also a movie and music producer. I'm going to be releasing my 17th studio album. You'll see some of my tracks. I did some videos, professional videos, to kind of promote my latest album. It's entitled Missing You, the album. It's my 17th album. Anyways, I'm not doing this live to talk about that. I'm here to talk about a topic. I don't consider it sensitive anymore. I used to back in the day, because there's so many support groups that are out there for people that are biracial and multiracial, that I don't feel like it's something that's rare or atypical, because there's like myriad resources out there for people of mixed ancestry, and I don't consider it a sensitive topic. But I will tell you is, even in 2023, it's still a controversial topic. I don't know why. I do think that some people choose to make it controversial for no reason at all. A lot of it's because of ignorance, the failure to open up a book and to educate yourselves on biraciality. So this live video is in response to Sage Steele. She's a former sports journalist. I don't know if it's for ESPN. I don't know what network it was. I don't remember, because I really didn't follow her. But I know that she was very controversial when she was, on air. And, she talked about the former President Obama and his racial identity. She talked about vaccines. There's controversy around that. Then she talked about her biraciality, and that she felt that she was treated differently or discriminated against by Black Americans or African Americans. She was told she was a sellout, whatever, a bunch of stuff. So I guess a few things I want to talk about, and as a biracial myself, that I understand that race, even though race doesn't really scientifically exist, but I do understand that race is a big issue for a lot of people. Like identity politics is a big issue. And it always baffles me when I see people that are not biracial speaking for us. Why are you doing that? You're not biracial. Like, you don't have two ethnicities that you were raised, with, or I should say, two ethnic parents that you were raised with, same household, conditioned by both of them. You're an extension of both of them. Who are you to say what our experiences are? Like, that's kind of like me saying, I know what it's like to be a woman. I would never, not even remotely, try to entertain the thought that I know what it's like to be a woman, because I'm not. I'm a male. So who are you all three of you that are on that panel, to speak for biracial people? Like, why do people misuse their platforms? The proper thing that all of you should have done was have some actual biracial people on your platform and hear what they have to say. But instead, you want to remain ignorant and speak for us. Don't speak for us. Like, that's insulting, number one. And number two is, it's cringy as hell. Who are you to tell us who we are? I don't understand that. But I was very disappointed between the three panelists. The one individual I was very disappointed with, because I actually had a lot of respect for him, but I don't see him the same anymore, is that Mark Lamont. Granted, he's highly educated, and so am I. If you're watching this, Mark, because I have a master's, a bachelor's, and associates. I did have a state license. It expired. I'm not going to renew it. Don't need to. I'm no longer going to practice counseling, but I do have a master's in counseling, and I also have 25 years in the field of anthropology, independent studies. And I will tell you something, Mark, if you're watching this, you and all the other people that are on that panel, When you said being biracial is not a real thing, you are absolutely wrong, sir. Now, I know race doesn't exist, but genetic markers do. DNA sequencing does. And I will tell you something, sir. MDS, myelodysplastic syndrome. Look it up. It's when your bone marrow does not produce enough red blood cells, and it can lead to leukemia. Did you know, Mr. Lamont, that an Afro-Pan like myself, half black, half white, we cannot receive nor donate bone marrow to anyone else except for someone of the same mix. Did you know that? It's true. And I have proof. I have the receipts to prove my veracity. Okay? If I needed bone marrow, I have to accept it from another biracial person of the same mix. Did you know that? But you said before biracial is not a real thing and we don't exist. Well, sorry, I'm about to prove you wrong. So let's educate you and all those other people that are on your platform that are spreading canards, false information about things you don't know what you're talking about. Now, instead of, running with the flapper, why don't you guys open up a book? Do some research. Don't speak for us. You don't know a thing about biraciality. Who are you to tell us who we are? And I'll tell you something else before I show proof of the MDS. I'll tell you something else that's very annoying. It's when people keep bringing up the cops thing. Stop saying that. Cops are not anthropologists, okay? As far as I'm concerned, they're not anthropologists. Now, there may be some that changed their major, they became a cop, and they were initially an anthropologist. Who knows? But for the most part, cops are not anthropologists. So stop always using a cop BS story. Oh, well, according to... So who are they? Do they have a PhD next to their names? Do they have credentials as a scientist or anthropologist? No. So stop using that cop nonsense. And also, the world. I will tell you, this is probably the biggest disappointment that I saw, or I, experienced watching your show, and that is when you use the term the world. Now, come on, dude. With all of your education, if you've taken any research courses, how could you say that? The world. There's over 1 billion people on the planet. And for you to say world, I'll be honest with you, that just threw all your education out the window. I completely lost respect for you because you can't speak for the world. There's a lot of people. There's no way on earth, even if you had a sampled population empirical study, it's sampled. It's a scintilla of the whole population. It's a little splice. You're not asking every person in the world how they view and perceive biracial people. I'm talking about mainly Afro-Pans, half black, half white. You haven't asked everyone. I never received your questionnaire in the mail. Why do you guys always keep saying world? Stop saying that. And don't even say society. Society means all of us, unless you're talking about some kind of secret society. And if you do, well, who's that secret society? Please give me some information. Be descriptive here. You can't even use that term. You can say some people. Now that would be correct, but you can't say world. Who are you to say the world? As a biracial person, I'm mistaken for different things all the time. So there you go. Your theory's out the window. Sage Steele. When I look at her, I see a mixed race woman. She's African and something else. It's either European, maybe native, but she looks mixed race. Now, I wouldn't know exactly what her mix was because, as mixed race people, we come in so many different varieties and degrees of mixture. I wouldn't know if she was half white, but I knew she was mixed with something else. But you just said before, all you see is a black woman. That's not true at all. Lupita is a beautiful black woman with West African sub-Saharan features. Dark skin, 4C hair, her bone structure, that's a black woman. Sage is a mixed race woman. She has different features. Her skin tone, her bone structure on her face, her hair texture, that's a mixed race woman. And that's her real hair too. Soft curly, it looks like it's maybe a 3C or a 3B. Mine is more of a 3A. You can't tell in this video, but my hair is more on my European side. But, as mixed race people, we pick up different traits. from our heritage. But the point is, the Sage Steele looks to me like a biracial woman. She looks mixed. So I don't know what you're talking about. And also, it just shows a level of ignorance that people have not taken the time to learn about their African ancestors, because I'm half West African, and I assure you, West Africans look nothing like me. If we were to be in the same group, you can tell right away I would stand right out. I'm not the same as them. I'm part of them, but I'm not the same. We're still different. And difference is okay. It's not a bad thing. And also, too, is just because a person is biracial and proud to be biracial doesn't mean it's anti-black. I don't know why some of you think that. I do think that comes from a place of insecurity. So because I don't pander and defer to your paradigmatic views and belief systems on what blackness is, that I'm a sellout or I'm anti-black. So that's how that works. I have to agree with you in order to be accepted into your club. Cut that nonsense out. If Sage is biracial, which she is, she has a right to, profess her biraciality. Why does that bother you? Anyone that's watching this video, why does that bother you? Is there some jealousy issues going on, some envy? Why does that bother you? That comes from a place of insecurity. I can care less if she's biracial and proud. So what? I don't see that as anti-anything, because that's who she is. That's who she is. So let me show you something to educate those that don't understand how biracial people are their own thing. Let me school some of you, because I love teachable moments. Okay. Like I said, get me on that show. I'll correct every one of those panelists up there, because they were just spreading a bunch of nonsense. Okay, so, and I take offense to it, because it's almost like you guys keep acting like we don't exist, like we're invisible. I don't appreciate that. You're making us, you're trying to treat us as though it's not a real thing. Yes, it is. I have two heritages. How is that not a real thing? But I'm supposed to accept your family as being real, but you can't accept mine? That's how that works? You have two parents? You identify with both of your parents, but I can't? Who are you to tell me? Like, really? Stop doing that. It's super annoying. Okay, all right, so let's start with this one here. So, in case anyone comes onto my page with nonsense stating, oh, you are whatever your father is, I have two biracial people, one with a black mother and white father, the other one with a black father and a white mother. The biracial bone marrow applies to both of them. So let's see, test your intelligence if you're watching this video. Now, you said it's not a real thing, right? Let's see if that's true.
A young Austin woman is searching for her perfect match.
She's battling cancer and is in need of a bone marrow transplant. Now Dell Children's Medical Center is asking for your help. Kaylin Norwood joins us, and Kaylin, that's because what she's looking for is hard to come by.
Well, Yvonne Bryant, that's right. Lizzie Tennyson is biracial. That makes it more difficult for her. It means she has less than a 14% chance of finding a match. She ideally needs a biracial donor. That's why Dell Children's is holding a donor registry drive for her tomorrow. Now, Lizzie has battled cancer for years and tells me she isn't sure how many more chances she's going to get. Doctors diagnosed her with leukemia when she was just 13 years old. She's now 21. The four-time cancer survivor recently got into her dream school, the University of Texas. She was set to start this fall, but just 6 weeks ago, she found out her cancer came back and had to drop out. She's now undergoing chemo for the 5th time and says she desperately needs a bone marrow. That's cancer in this cycle.
Her father is, I'm not going to play the whole thing, but you get the gist of it. Her father's white and her mother's black, African American, which, again, most African Americans already have white ancestry. So she's probably more than 50% Caucasian, because her father most likely passed down some of his European along with the majority of his African. So she's probably maybe 55% or 60% white. I don't know the magic number because I haven't seen her DNA results, but the point is, she has a white father and a black mother. So now here's another scenario in case somebody comes on here with that nonsense about you're whatever the father is, that's what you are, because that's not how genetics work. But anyways, that's okay. This is a teachable moment.
Get ready for back to school at Dick's Warehouse Sales Store. Shop up to 70% off.
Okay. Here's part
My
two.
birthday's at Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah, your mom was telling me you love birthdays at Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah.
Still? Imani Cornelius just wants a normal childhood. You look like the perfectly healthy 11-year-old girl.
Yeah.
Do you feel okay?
Yeah, I'm okay. Sometimes I get my ups and downs. You have aches and pains everywhere, but it still hurts.
Imani has myelodysplastic syndrome, or MDS, which means her bone marrow doesn't produce enough blood cells. It could lead to leukemia if she doesn't get a bone marrow transplant. How did you feel when they first diagnosed her?
I mean, as a dad, it took everything out of me.
Finding a donor match is always difficult, but it's more difficult for Imani because she's biracial.
Now, with mixed race people, why it's so difficult is that there's so many possible combinations. So just tissue type is very complex. That's one level. And then if you match that with half of one ethnicity, half of another ethnicity, the number of possible combinations just explodes into the millions.
Outreach groups like Mixed Marrow are trying to lower those odds.
Me being mixed race myself, I noticed there wasn't any current organization or outreach specifically targeting the mixed race community. We do community events, we also do college events, and then do the
So
donor
anyways,
drives.
I think you all get the gist of it. If you're watching this live video, please stop trying to speak for us. It's insulting. Like, just don't do it, okay? Because you make yourself look really ridiculous, and you're miseducating people. You're spreading falsehoods, canards, spurious information, and people are watching your videos and they're processing what you're saying and navigating the world thinking, oh, that's correct, and then later on they find out they were grossly wrong. Don't do that. You have a responsibility. When you're on these platforms, especially if you're a celebrity or high profile person, whatever, you have a major responsibility to educate people the proper way. And I'm not saying you have to be omniscient in your delivery, but at least do your due diligence and do some research before spreading false information. So it's very annoying and it's extremely insulting. Biracial is biracial. We're black and we're white. We're both. And also too, let me just add something else as well. Logic, and I think he's a rapper or something. The reason why, I can tell you with 100% accuracy, the reason why Logic looks white is because most likely his African American parent is mixed race. Yes, you know, we have kids too, right? Both of the parents could be biracial. Both parents could be multi-generational mix, like Vanessa Williams' parents. Both of them are mixed. That's why she's mixed race, but multi-generational, because I saw her ancestry DNA. She's 44% European. Where do you think they came from? The sky? It means they came from her parents. Hello? Anyways, biracial people are parents just like everybody else. So you have a child that has a white parent and a biracial parent, and a child looks like predominantly white. They're like, oh, well, how is that possible? The child looks white, but no, because the one parent is already part white. Logic, common sense. Human bio 101, the Punnett square, basic bio, okay? If I'm 50-50 and my ex-wife is 100% European, how's my daughter gonna be 50-50 when I'm 50-50? I'm gonna pass both my white and black genes, which I did, to my daughter, and her mother, unless she's mixed, which I don't believe she is gonna pass 50% of her white genes. Do you think that my daughter's gonna be 50-50? The math doesn't add up. That's not how that works. She's gonna be probably, my daughter, 70 to 80% white and the rest African. Because if you see my daughter, she has blonde hair and blue eyes, long European texture blonde hair, light eyes, and very fair skin. Very, like Mariah Carey. She's not 50-50 like me and or Obama. Do you understand? That's how that works. So Logic most likely has maybe 70 to 80% European because his person of color parent is not fully black. That person must have a lot of white ancestry. Just like Quincy Jones, you know, Rashida Jones' daughter. The reason why she looks white is because Quincy Jones, I saw his ancestry DNA results on the Dr. Lewis Henry Gates show. He's 39% European. So let's use our brains, everyone. If he's 39% European and 40, or 39, make sure I have the math right. What is that, 59% African? I believe it was. So 39, hold on, 9, because I make sure I have I think that's 51%. No, 61% African, if I'm not mistaken. Whatever gives you 100%, but I remember he's 39%. Yeah, so 60, 40. Yeah, so he's like 39% European, so basically 40%, and 60% African. The aggregate is 100%, right? So let's think about this logic here. If his ex-wife, Peggy Lipton, I believe her name was, Peggy Lipton, if she's 100% Caucasian, which I don't know for sure because I didn't see her DNA results, but she phenotypically looks white. And if Quincy Jones is mixed race himself, what makes you think that the offspring are going to be 50-50? Most likely they're going to be over 50% European because he's basically 40% European. Do you understand what I'm saying? And remember, when you pass your genes onto your children, everyone is watching this, you're only passing 50% out of your 100%. So my father, I did not inherit 100% of his genes. I only inherit 50%. And it's 50% random genes. My mother, same thing. So this is why Rashida looks more European because unlike my father has some European in him. If I'm not mistaken, I think it's like around 11%, but I'm gonna actually have his ancestry DNA test done myself. I heard it from another source. A family member had it done, and that was a percentage, but my father's is still gonna be different because remember, unless you're identical twins, it's not gonna be exactly the same as your siblings. But, excuse me, my dad is not the same mix as Quincy Jones. Quincy Jones has a lot of European ancestry. This is why Rashida looks more European. Makes perfect sense, okay? Another example, Paula Patton, the one that's biracial that doesn't like the term biracial. Paula Patton, you're biracial. Your mother's white. Be proud of it. Your father's black. Be proud. Be proud of who you are. Stop trying to pander to make other people feel better about themselves so you can sleep better at night. It's just ridiculous. Stop lying about who you are. You're biracial, okay? So she had a son with Robin Thicke, the singer. You ever see the son, Julian? Looks 100% European. And in fact, let me show you. Now, it's obvious that Julian is not 50-50 like his mother. No, because if she's black and white and Robin is white, how's he going to be 50-50 when his mother is giving him white genes as well? I don't understand why I got to explain this to people. It's just basic bio. Like, it's ridiculous how I have to explain this to people. Like, it just shows that some people, and I'm not trying to be insulting here, but it's gonna be straight up because I'm a straight shooter. I don't euphemize, I don't sugarcoat. It's insulting. It shows that some of you did not pass Bio 101. And if you were in class, you're probably either on your phone or looking out the window, but you definitely weren't paying attention because you should know this stuff. But anyways, I'll show you. Okay, so let's have a little fun here. Okay, so this is
Robin
Paul.
Thicke and Paula Patton's personal life are well known. Fans and the media have followed their relationship, separation, and son. Paula Patton is an American actress and film producer. She was known for her roles in Precious and Mission Impossible: Ghost Protocol. R&B and soul singer, songwriter, and producer Robin Thicke was born in Los Angeles on March 10, 1977. He became famous with Blurred Lines and Lost Without You. Teenagers Paula Patton and Robin Thicke met in the early 1990s. They married in 2000 2005 after dating. The couple appeared happy and affectionate in public. Julian Fuego Thick, their only child, was born in 2010. Julian, born April 6, 2010, offered his parents much joy. Paula and Robin loved their son and shared beautiful family moments. After 8 years, Paula Patton and Robin Thicke divorced in February 2014. Mutual insurmountable issues ended their relationship. Despite their split, they committed to co-parenting and fostering their kid. Julian's custody fight was highlighted after Paula Patton and Robin Thicke. Robin Thicke and Paula Patton's personal life are well known. Fans and the media have followed their relationship, separation, and son. Paula Patton is an American actress and film producer. She was known for her roles in Precious and Mission Impossible: Ghost Protocol. R&B and soul singer, songwriter, and producer Robin Thicke was born in Los Angeles on March 10, 1977. He became famous.
So you get the gist of what I'm saying is, biracial people can produce any phenotype because we're mixed. I may give my next child all my black ancestry, all my white ancestry, or mix of both. You just never know when you're biracial. The variables are insane. Excuse me. But in general, when you have a biracial parent and a white parent, usually the kids look more European, which would make sense. Now, I've also seen children that have a black parent and a biracial parent. Sometimes the child comes out looking biracial because maybe the biracial parent passed down a lot of his or her white genes, and also the black parent probably has white ancestry too, because remember, most African Americans have some European. You see? So it gets very complicated. But the point is that biracial people do marry and have children. Two parents can be biracial, one parent can be biracial. Do you understand? And also there's a thing known as multi-generational, where basically mulattoes marry other mulattoes for many generations. The genes don't expire like a loaf of bread. You either inherit them or you don't, right? That's what they call multi-generational mix. Ancestry DNA tests, they don't measure generations, they go by percentages. So Vanessa Williams would be considered biracial because she's basically similar to me. I'm a little bit more white than her, but the point is, we're still both black and white. Only difference is she has two mixed parents. I have a white and a black parent. That's the only difference. I'm first generation, but we're still mixed race. And I know somebody's gonna say, oh, well, I have two dark-skinned parents and I have, fair skin. Where'd that come from? Let me school you on that as well. A few things. There's a thing known as atavism, A-T-A-V-I-S-M. Look it up. Atavism is when you inherit traits that come from an ancient ancestor, like from many, 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 many generations ago. It's called atavism. It's a very real thing. There's another thing known as Waardenburge syndrome. When people have those really piercing blue eyes, ocean blue eyes, and very, very, very dark skin. I'm talking about black Africans, sub-Saharan Africans. That's called Waardenburg syndrome. Those are not natural blue eyes like you would see like in European people. That's a syndrome, and lots of groups get them, just so you know. Actually, any group can get it. Is when you have those really, really blue eyes, but they usually have hearing problems. So let me school you on that as well. So give me 1 second, because I'm all about education. So people don't spread falsehoods.
And
to feel better about themselves, because it's just ridiculous. Okay. Waardenburg syndrome. Okay, so let's see here. Give me 1 second, everyone. Here we go.
In a sense, the disease has no cure, but can be managed. Waardenburge syndrome is a group of genetic conditions that can cause hearing loss and changes in coloring of the hair, skin, and eyes. Although most people with Waardenburge syndrome have normal hearing, moderate to profound hearing loss can occur in one or both ears. The lack of appropriate melanin in the human body is a contributory factor of the disease.
The prevalence of hearing loss in our country is estimated to be about 4.8% of the population. And its effects on children, we see that it's quite grave because it's a prelingual effect. The child has not developed language yet, and so that makes the effect of the hearing loss more severe.
Paduma was born with Waardenburge syndrome unknown to her parents. 6 months after, it was detected that she has a white forelock and blue eyes. Further tests revealed a severe sensorineural loss in both left and right ears. She is unable to speak due to the hearing loss and now lives in her own world, which is uncontrolled. Statistics from the Hearing Assessment Center of the Kolebu Teaching Hospital indicate that the Waardenburg disease is the leading cause of hearing loss in the country.
Some of the symptoms that come, you see that the person's skin is like the person has been bent in the cover. That's how it comes. Because the melanin is supposed to cause the blackness of the skin wasn't enough. So you see that quite a lot in some of them. And then also sometimes the facial orientation of the nose and the eyes are a bit different from normal.
Rebecca is here to receive a cochlear implant at the Pretoria-based Ear Institute in South Africa. She is said to need 180,000 Ghana cedis for surgery and therapy. Previous efforts to raise the amount has not yielded the desired results.
The surgery is also time-bound.
Okay,
After
so
3 years, we will not be able to help them.
So that's called Waardenburg syndrome. So for those that want to claim things that are not true to feel better about yourself, stop. The blue eyes, that's not normal blue eyes. And all groups get it. Europeans get it, Africans get it, mixed race people. It's Waardenburg syndrome is not the same as having natural blue eyes from Europe. It's not. And I'm not saying it's better or worse, but it's just educate yourself. Like, stop making false claims to feel better about yourself. Love yourself for who you are. It's okay. You don't have to be something that you're not. Like, we got to stop the insanity. It's ridiculous. This is why kids have low self-esteem, because you're desiring features from someone else and claiming them to be your own, when in fact, those features are coming from another ethnicity. If it's not Waardenburg syndrome or one of the 4 types of albinism, heterochromia, when you have a blue eye and a brown eye, that's called heterochromia. What's the other one? Or atavism, which I just mentioned before, then that means there's mixed ancestry. And 2 dark-skinned parents could still be mixed. Educate yourselves. But that's all I have to say. I think I covered everything. Hopefully, Mark Lamont will watch this video, and the other panelists, because what you guys said was so cringy. Like, be sensitive. You want people to be sensitive to your issues and be sensitive to ours. Don't speak for biracial people. You're not biracial. You don't know what we go through, our experiences. And please stop saying the world. You can't speak for every single person. There's over 1 billion people on the planet. I've never received your questionnaire in the mail. So who are you to say the world? Even to say society. Society, we all make up society. What society are you talking about? Like, the stupidity is just, it's so cringy. And it's embarrassing. But that's all I have to say. You have a blessed day. Thank you for watching, everyone. Bye.